Stew meat chili. Yeah, that's right. In this video, we're going to show you how to make the very best homemade venison chili using stew meat. That's right, venison stew meat. Now, you could use beef stew meat if you wanted to, but today we're making venison chili. Our deer chili recipe is made with beans and in a cast iron deep skillet. So let's get started. You guys ready? Let's go. So the very first thing we need to do is get our stew meat out. And actually I've got a little small piece of tenderloin that was left over. And so we're going to get this cut. These vacuum sealed packages are really great for meat like this. So we're going to wash it up and we're going to get ready and cut these into smaller bite-sized pieces, kind of like our stew meat is, and use our last little bit of tenderloin. That ought to go real well in this chili. Any kind of stew meat like this makes really great chili. And so I want you to look at these little pieces of tenderloin. Man, that's going to work out real well in this chili. Okay, well, we've got this rinsed and cleaned up, and I want you to look at this stew meat now. Venison stew meat, and of course we got a little bit of tenderloin mixed in here as well. But folks, I'll tell you what, if you've never had stew meat chili, you need to do this. Whether you use beef stew meat or if you have access to venison, either one, you ought to give this a try. It just makes chili, it takes it to a whole different level. And so we're going to get ready and start taking this over to the stove, get ready to brown it down and cook it up and get this pot of chili going. Our ingredients here is chili powder, and we've got cumin. We're going to add a little bit of that. We got some beef broth we like to add to our venison or beef, whichever one. Got some tomato paste. We got some rotel, some pinto beans, some ranch style beans, some yellow onions, some garlic. And I didn't have any tomato sauce, so I'm using pasta sauce. Got our 3-inch deep skillet here. We're going to get ready and heat this up. Add a little bit of bacon grease to it. You guys know I love my bacon grease. Don't get rid of your bacon grease. Be sure and strain that and save that. If you cook bacon or like bacon, you can't beat this for browning meat with, and just the flavor itself alone is worth it. So we're going to add about 2 tablespoons of bacon grease. Get this heated up. That way we can start to cook our venison down, brown it up a little bit, soften it up, along with our onions and our garlic. Once this oil gets heated up, and I like to cook everything approximately on medium to medium high. You don't want to get too hot. But anyway, we'll begin to add this stew meat in here and start to brown this down, soften it up. Of course, this being a young deer, you know, it's pretty tender anyway. So go ahead and add our onions to this, and we're going to add just probably a tablespoon, pretty big tablespoon. I like garlic. I don't know about you guys, but I like about a tablespoon of garlic in my my pot of chili. So we'll go ahead and add that to the mix and get all this kind of stirred up, mixed up, and let it do its deal. Well, I better grab my wooden spatula. Where's it at? Okay. All right, let's take and get this wooden spatula in here. And for all these people who say you can't use metal in their cast iron, but you can. But anyway, I like this little wooden spatula Teresa got me. So we get all this stuff combined together and get it mixed up into the bacon grease and let it start to cook down. Get us a decent little color to it before we add all of our other ingredients and things to the pot. I like to soften my meat up a little bit, get it kind of tender, I guess, if you will. And of course, that sauteing it in with the onions certainly helps. We'll get that done. Once we get the meat brown, we'll add all these other ingredients to it and get it mixed together. And we'll come back here in just a little bit and show you what that looks like. Okay, well, this stew meat has begun to brown down pretty good. The onions are getting soft, and so we're going to go ahead and add some of our other ingredients. I've got a can of Rotel, and I'm not draining anything today. We're going to add juice to everything. I've got my spaghetti sauce here, got a can of pinto beans, and we got some ranch style beans, and these have jalapeno peppers in them, so I love my jalapenos. And that Rotel has actually got a little bit of heat to it, not a lot, but I try not to do too much because not everyone likes heat. So get the rest of this out. Then I got a can of tomato paste here. We're going to put that in as well. Okay, we'll kind of give that a little bit of a stir, just to incorporate that a little bit. Now the next thing I want to do is add just a little bit of chili powder. I'm probably going to do 3 tablespoons of that. There's 1, 2, 3. We're going to go with 4. How about that, huh? 4 tablespoons of chili powder. And then I want to do 1 good tablespoon of cumin. The next thing I want to add is a little bit of beef broth. Probably about 1/2 cup to a cup. That's probably pretty good right there. So we'll go ahead and get this stirred in. Let this come to a good boil, and then we're going to just let it simmer for a while. Well, we've let this simmer for about 4 hours, and boy, it is looking good. I mean, it is thick and rich. Look how thick that is. Look at them chunks of stew meat. Now let's get some of this plated up. See if we can add this to a bowl here. Look at that right there. Man, fine chunks of stew meat. That's gonna be so good. But look how thick that chili is. I mean, you could eat that with a fork, but I don't recommend it. I recommend eating it with a tablespoon. We'll add a few little pieces of green onions. Look at that. Stew meat chili. There you go, man. We've got some green scallions, green onions chopped up in on that for some garnish. A little bit of sharp cheddar cheese in that. Stew meat chili. So let's taste it and see what it looks like. Of course, it's so thick. Look at that. I mean, it's just, wow. Little small chunks of venison stew meat, and that sauce, man, that sauce is so thick. Wow. You know, like I said, you could put regular beef stew meat in this if you wanted to, but if you have access to venison, wow, this is unfreaking believable. Yes, sir. Yeah, this is really good right here. Kind of like that old boy down in Louisiana, you know, old stale cracker. He says, that's so good right there, you can put it on a cracker, dude. And then he also says, that's money, dude, right there. I guarantee it is, folks. You can't beat that. Check this video out right here, and we'll see y'all over there. Y'all have a great day. It's Mike over here at Mr. Cast Iron. We're going to enjoy a bowl of venison stew meat chili. Woo! Rock on. Don't hate me.